What really caused the deadly mid-air collision over the Potomac? Was DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, actually to blame, as some claimed just hours after the crash? And why is the NTSB warning Congress that the next aviation disaster is already in the data, especially as drones, eVTOLs, and automation rush into the industry? In this video, we're going beyond the headlines to break down what was actually said at the recent Congressional hearing with NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy. We'll look at the data behind the Potomac and Philadelphia crashes, the role of technology in aviation safety, and the real story behind the DEI controversy based on testimony, not talking points. If you're serious about aviation safety, technology, and professional standards, this conversation is one you can't afford to miss. First, let's get into the Potomac mid-air collision. On January 29, 2025, a PSA Airlines CRJ-700 operating as American Airlines Flight 5342 from Wichita, Kansas, collided mid-air with a U.S. Army Sikorsky UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter over the Potomac River near Washington, D.C. The collision occurred at approximately 8:48 p.m. Eastern Time, resulting in the deaths of 64 individuals aboard the airplane and all 3 crew members aboard the helicopter. American Airlines Flight 5342, the CRJ-700, was on a visual approach to runway 33 at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. The helicopter was conducting a training mission, transitioning from Helicopter Route 1 to Helicopter Route 4, which runs along the Potomac River and intersects the final approach path to runway 33. Helicopter Route 4 permits operations at or below 200 feet MSL, or mean sea level. Aircraft on the runway 33 glide path descend to similar altitudes, resulting in vertical separation of as little as 75 feet, a margin deemed dangerously narrow. Helicopter Route 4 lacks specific lateral boundaries, allowing helicopters to vary their positions laterally. This variability increases the risk of conflict with fixed-wing aircraft on final approach. 17 seconds before the collision, the air traffic controller instructed the helicopter to pass behind Flight 5342. A simultaneous transmission from the helicopter crew may have caused this instruction to be missed or partially heard, leading to misinterpretation. The helicopter's ADSB, or Automatic Dependent Surveillance Broadcast System, was not transmitting at the time of the accident, reducing situational awareness for both air traffic control and the CRJ-700 crew. Between 2021 and 2024, over 15,000 close proximity events were recorded in the vicinity of DCA involving helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft. Despite these alarming figures, comprehensive corrective actions were not implemented prior to this tragedy. In response to the collision, the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, issued urgent safety recommendations, leading to the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, imposing restrictions on helicopter operations near DCA, particularly concerning the use of Route 4 whenever runways 1533 are in use. Immediately after the crash, the FAA closed Route 4 temporarily. Following further review, the NTSB issued urgent safety recommendations on March 11, 2025. Helicopter traffic should not be permitted while aircraft are landing or departing runways 15 and 33, Homendy said. FAA swiftly adopted these recommendations, and Route 4 remains closed. This incident highlights that airspace design and safety protocols often lag behind operational use, and in high-density environments like DCA, the margin for delay can be the margin between life and death. Next, we'll look at DEI and the weaponization of narrative. Within hours of the crash, top U.S. officials, including the President and Secretary of Defense, suggested DEI hiring practices may have contributed to the tragedy, but the preliminary NTSB report showed no such link. Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro criticized public figures who who rushed to blame DEI initiatives for these crashes before the facts were known. We cannot afford to put the cart before the horse when it comes to aviation safety. We cannot blame pilots or air traffic controllers until the NTSB uncovers the facts. Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman added, "There is nothing that DEI has negatively impacted when it comes to performance. On the contrary, when asked directly, Chair Homendy stated, 'We have not finished our investigation, but to date we have found no evidence that DEI played any role in the Potomac crash.' In aviation, where everything is supposed to be data-driven, this episode serves as a reminder that our industry must reject narratives that politicize tragedy and instead focus on evidence, integrity, and safety culture." Next, we'll look at what was covered in the hearing regarding the Philadelphia medevac crash. Just 2 nights after the devastating midair collision over the Potomac, another fatal aviation accident occurred, this time involving a medevac flight over the city of Philadelphia. While the hearing did not go into technical specifics, NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy referenced the crash as part of a deeply troubling pattern. In the span of just a few weeks, the NTSB had responded to the Potomac midair collision, the Philadelphia medevac crash, a Cessna Caravan crash in Alaska, and other serious aviation events, including an engine fire in Denver. These accidents, Homendy emphasized, are not isolated. We owe it to the families of the involved, to the communities where incidents occurred, and to the traveling public to find out what happened, why it happened, and how to prevent it from happening again. Multiple members of Congress echoed the concern that public trust in aviation safety is being shaken, especially after 17 years without a single fatality on a U.S. commercial flight. There was also discussion about the importance of fact-based, not political analysis. Homendy later reminded the committee that the NTSB's role is clear. We do not regulate, we don't speculate, we find the facts. What's clear from this hearing is that the NTSB is facing an increasingly high volume of complex investigations, and the medevac crash is one more sign that strain is showing across sectors, commercial, military, and emergency operations alike. Chair Homendy told Congress, "The next accident is already in the data." That was one of the most powerful moments in the entire hearing. She explained that agencies have years of traffic collision alerts, near misses, and systemic reports, but the response has not always matched the risk. Homendy also warned about the fragmented state of safety requirements in light of new technologies. There's no requirement for safety management systems for Part 135 operators, maintenance facilities, or Part 91 air tours. It's a piecemeal approach and it's not working. As eVTOLs, drones, and automation move forward, data transparency, regulatory readiness, and system integration are not optional. They're essential. These events are not just stories, they're wake-up calls. As instructors, pilots, and aviation educators, we are responsible for creating a culture that is rooted in fact, driven by data, and committed to safety over speculation. Chair Homendy said it best. The NTSB doesn't regulate. We don't want to. Our singular focus is saving lives. Let's hold on to that line. Let's keep building an aviation community where diversity, safety, and technical excellence go hand in hand. If you found this analysis valuable, give it a like, share it with your fellow aviators, and leave a comment with your perspective. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into aviation safety and technology. And if you're a pilot or a student working to improve your aviation English, check out my aviation English course, link in the description. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.